How's everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today, I'm going to be reviewing some trail camera pictures and footage from the past year and some of my best pictures from trail cameras that I have. Buck pictures, we have bear pictures here, and we're going to be checking them out. And we have videos too. Because deer season, if you don't know guys, is going to start in about 9 days. I'm stinking so excited for that. Because I'm going to be using a crossbow this season. We got a lot more guns for the gun season in November, but it's August 17th, not 19th, okay. August 17th, 7:22 in the morning, so that's a pretty good time. Okay, guys, so as you can see, this is probably just don't show there because of the road right here. And right over here, you could see we have the buck pictures are right over here. Right down here, I'll show you guys. We'll zoom in. The buck pictures, as you can see right here, of this buck. It's a nice, let me look. See if we can see it. It moves kind of quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point, I would say. Maybe a bigger than that. Because there's two little, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 point buck. It could be a 6 point because I had more videos of it right up to the camera. It was actually a small 6 point. It's like crab claws up there, and it has some brown tines sticking out there. I mean, it's a nice buck. I think it looks like a mature buck. So we might have to shoot this buck because it's not the biggest buck. And for being how old it is, it should have way bigger antlers. Okay, so guys, here we are right here. This is where we're going to put a tree stand right here. Right over here. Let's make this a little bit, brush a little smaller. Right on here. The buck we saw was usually right around here in this area, in this local area. I have a trail camera set here. And we have a mock scrape. Let's put a little line there. The lines that I write are going to be mock scrapes. That's a line right there. This is older pictures, but I have a camera set up right now in this woods as we speak with pictures. I didn't check it, but I set up a mock scrape about 2 days ago when I checked the pictures. But this is where I set up a mock scrape. This is where the bucks, I see does and bucks like right around here. And the camera was right around here. And the buck was walking this way. But we're going to have a tree stand setting up right here. As you can see my original video or my review of the tree stand. Not really review, but deer surveillance. You can see it should be the last two videos I made. Yeah. And over here we're going to have a tree stand. We're going to have it pointing this way, facing this way, like this. Give a broad field of view, looking out this way. So if any deers come down here, because this is high grass all here. They come in here. This is a fence, right down here is a fence. They could come down here. I could see all the way down here, all the way, like literally all around here. I could look even behind me, but I have to like hug the tree on the tree stand, so I have a broad range to actually see the deer. So if any deer come out here, like let's say that buck comes out here and walks down here, over here, I'll be able to get a clear shot at him right there. Okay, and let's say the buck walks over this way, or if any deer come over here, because I see a lot of deer right around here in these fields and other fields, any of them from anywhere's here, they usually group up and they walk down here, and then they follow this fence line in our property all the way down because we have another bit of fields there, and I could get a clear shot down here to any of the deer. Or if they even come down here, because I see deer come down this way to go here to the cornfields, and I got a clear shot at them here. This looks like a scribbly mess, but I mean, hopefully you pay attention. So that is where this video is. Okay, this is the same spot. I have the camera here. So you can see this, I think is that a doe? No, that's a small spike. Like, see, as you can see, there's a 2-point spike, and this is the same 5-point buck. This is the same where the camera was. So you can see there's multiple deer here, so there's 2 bucks. So they're just like playing around out there. They're not doing much. The camera quality is not that great because it is a cheap camera. It's a Tasco, one of the cheapest ones, like 28 bucks. You can pick videos. As you can see, this is actually a doe. We have another doe. We have about 2 bucks there and 1 doe just in that small area. So they're mostly just standing around right here and they're just like sparring. This is August 17th, 6:53 in the morning, so that's decently early. So it seems like just those deer are all right in this one vicinity, like right around here. They're all right around here. If we have a tree stand right here, deer could come from everywhere right into this spot. And this is just that spot. I've walked, most of the time when I check my trail camera, I walk a path because you can see there's like, you can't really tell, but there's a path right down here that deer take. Then it splits off here. I actually have another mock scrape right over here. This would be a mock scrape outline right there. As I said, I had another mock scrape here. Wherever you see bucks and you see, if you don't have a trail camera and you could just walk there and tell if there's bucks. What you could tell is by either by looking at a stick that has a big scrape, like it looks like it's gouged, like somebody literally scraped it with like a knife and then filed it down the tree. It's like losing bark and it's scraped in one spot about maybe 2 or 3 feet up. That's how you know if there's a buck scraped. And that means there's a buck in the area. Or you could see scrapes in the ground. You could tell by the, well, prints in the snow. It's hard to tell the difference between a buck and a doe print because most of them are the same size. Usually bucks are bigger than does, but where I live, they're not much bigger. So it's good to have some sort of mineral lick, I would say, around in this area. Because this is open area. All this here, there's no leaves anywhere. It's all trampled down. This whole spot. This is like probably a whole acre right here. Half acre, maybe a whole acre. Of just trampled down nothing. It's literally trampled down to the dirt with just deer prints. And so probably a mineral lick in this spot. Mineral lick right there. And then that'll be good for the deer. And a mock scrape somewhere around here. Just if you don't know how to do a mock scrape, let's get, I don't know, 2 likes in this video, just so if you want to do a video how to make a mock scrape, then I'll post that, guys. And so this would be a good spot for a tree stand. You could have it around here, but I think the deer bed in this area, because that's what it seems like, the deer bed in this area. I've seen deer most of the time at like afternoon, and there's deer bedding right here, and I spook them and they run down here. So there are deer bedding in this area. So I don't recommend putting hunting stands under a bedding area because when you walk in there in the morning or at the night, you probably spook deer when you're walking in. So I recommend putting it outside there because out here the woods are decently dense and there's grass is pretty high here by the fence. So you put a tree stand right there looking down here. You could look towards the woods, but I think it's better for the deer to jump out here to see what you could call them or something like a buck call or antler rattle or something, rattle bag. Then they'll be right down there. If you have like spots like this, I would recommend, this is not what I'm going to do, but I'll recommend if anyone has any sort of woods that look like this, I just want to help so you could know where to set up like stands and spots and mineral licks and mock scrapes right around here. As you can see, there's an open spot down here, and this is where it sort of funnels out like a funnel. The deer probably come down here from different spots. These cornfields are hundreds of acres, and they usually walk down here. They go right on here, and then a bunch of them graze down here. These are hay bales, these little ducks, and they graze in the grass. I've seen many times. I've looked down here. I drove an ATV past, and I looked down here. I saw like 5 or 6 deer just right exactly where this line is. So there are deer here. So I recommend if you have fields is to put tree stands at the outer edge of the fields. Just make sure there's deer there. Survey the area and make sure that there's deer. I would say, like, it really depends where the deer exactly go. I would say like one of these type trees or something. Like somewhere's over here or over here. Like in this general spot, put one of these. A mock scrape, I'm not sure. You could actually put them up here too, because we already have a stand up there. And it's open. There's actually bedding areas here that I figured out a couple days ago. There's bedding areas all around here at the deer bed. That's why I don't want to put a stand too close to there. So watch out for bedding areas when you're hunting for deer. Okay, the next spot is going to be open fields. I have a stand, a blind right here. This spot right here is a blind. It's not only a blind, it's a homemade blind like I made. Here, this fence line is 100 yards. So you could sort of guess how far the deer actually are. And right by this fence line I have a blind, and most of the time the deer go across the street because there's a road here. Just trust me, I just want to show the road name. There's a road here. The deer will come across here from the road out here, and they usually cross here up there and go to the cornfields. Remember the cornfields are down there, and sometimes they come here. I could use, if it's legally in your area or in your state, I would recommend baiting, like salt blocks, corn, something like that. there's certain ways it doesn't count as baiting. So if you have like take advantage of like natural bait, natural food. So if there's like, let's say oak trees, acorn trees, and crabapple trees, apple trees, berry bushes, all kinds of stuff like that. And even just like clover fields. Because most of all this is clover, especially down here is clover, so it's like one big food plot. The deer usually come down here. This is where I have my stand. I had deer. I just sat there and just watched. It wasn't deer season, but I sat there and watched. They came like 10 yards up to me, like right there. Because I had a bucket there, that's some corn in there, and they came right up. They mostly come down here to this path, and they walk right here to this swamp. There's ducks actually in that pond too. It's like a little swamp pond there, and they come there and to eat some of the grass and vegetation near there, and sometimes they split it and go down this way. I'll show you some trail camera pictures from this spot right here. This spot. It's easy for me because it's close to my house. So what I do is from the house, there's not the house, but I mean it's down there more. I could just walk up here, have cover from these trees across the road. I have bales here for cover. There's actually a lot more now. And I have cover from these trees to get to my spot without getting spooked. This would be a good spot. I would recommend hunting in the fields, like open fields, at before dusk. Like at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, stay out there until it gets dark, or certain shooting hours. Look up on your DNR or whatever state you're in and see what your shooting hours are. There's certain hours that you could shoot. So the best time to hunt is these sort of situations in these open fields. You can hunt field edges in the morning or at the night. It doesn't matter. They're all a great spot to hunt. Or from bedding area to the food spot or food plot. Or from bedding area to bedding area. You can have a stand there. But here is where they feed, and this is a great spot. And just open fields with nothing around it, not very many trees, is good during dusk. Right after like 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whenever it gets dark, just right around those times. During bow season. During gun season, it gets cold here. Most deer don't really walk out here. They stay in the woods. Here, I'll show you some trail camera pictures from there. The same spot I have. Right here I have apples in here, and I have corn in there. The deer don't seem to, they smell a little bit, but they don't really care too much. These are August 2nd, August 3rd. That's just about exactly a month. That was exactly a month ago. And this was at 8 o'clock. They just walk around, eat the grass. Cause you can see most of this is clover right here. There's some other stuff here. And you see there's another deer coming right up there on your top right hand corner. I think that's a buck actually. I don't be mistaken. Because we have bucks come across the street and up here to eat some of the food. They're just eating it. Most of these deer actually are very territorial, and they fight a lot. Because I had a picture of deer jumping up, literally fighting each other for corn. It's really like corn. It's actually, I'll show you. I don't know what the brand of corn is, but I'll show you a picture up here or a link down in the description. If I don't, then I'll just tell you what it is. It's like I'm not sure the company. It's a apple flavored corn. They're like it's like a brown bag and a little like green and brown bag, and it's like $5 at Walmart or something. It's real cheap, but it works really good. It's like $5 and something for I think it's a 30-pound bag, 20 or 30-pound bag. I'm not sure. These deer are kind of eating around there because what I do to make the food last longer is I sprinkle corn. I dump most of the corn in a bucket, and then I sprinkle the rest around it so that the deer will pick at some of the corn and stay there longer instead of just eating the whole pile and getting it gone. Because I have like about 2 pounds of corn in there, and it's gone every single night. I could literally have a spot, not put anything there for weeks and weeks, put it there one day, gone the next day. So you can see this is a deer who just walked there. And you watch that. Boom, right there. Just kicked it right in the butt. Because that's what I don't like. I had a deer last year who is mean like that and who fought other deer and scared away deer and scared away fawns from this food spot. Well, she stakes now, but anyway, but still. So most of those deer, you want to try to take out deer and does, bigger does. It really depends what your population is, because in the woods that we have like, I don't know, $5 out of like 20, 30 does. So that's not very good ratio. And you want to get out the bad genes, like if a buck has like a bent antler or like one antler, and the other one's really tiny or just really small antler, like an adult buck with tiny antlers. You want to take out them. And if you want to manage a population of deer, you could take out You could probably take out the older, mature does. It really depends what happens. You should research that more. So yeah, you need to take out like mean does like this because that's really a problem in the long run. Anyway, as you can see, this is a buck right here, very small buck. This is like an average bucks we have in our property. Just like probably the smaller ones, but they're like a spike probably. He still has his velvet on. It'd be cool to get a buck this season with velvet on. So he's just a small buck. He doesn't really care too much about the food. Now there's 3 deer just in this one spot right there. And my stand is right behind it. Like from this corner, I measured exactly. This corner to my hunting blind is 10 yards exactly. So this deer is 10 yards. I sat in that stand. The deer was so close, I couldn't even see them. My stand I have, it's just like a box blind that's up, like risen like 4 feet above the ground. The deer is so close, I couldn't even see them. They're right under me. Like, it's crazy how close these deer get. That's when I mostly get success. It's hunting at dusk time. Like, right around a few hours before sunset, I stay out there, and the deer just come to me, and I shoot them. That's why I have most luck. I sit in the morning, you see deer, but you don't get very good shots. I don't know if that's just me or not, but I mostly have, most of the deer I got was during, like, the afternoon, like dinner time after that, like 5 or 6 o'clock. Because the last deer I got was, I think it was like 6:30 or something. Now there's a lot more deer right here. Probably this buck, that other doe was scaring away the buck, because I had other videos, I think I deleted them. But that same doe who fought with that other doe was fighting with this buck, and probably he left, told his friends to come over here because there's food, and then they came across the street. We have 4 deer just in this one area. These are all healthy looking does too, and bucks. There's only 1 buck and 3 does. Deer seem to love corn more than anything else. So this is about 8:30. It gets really dark usually. Now at 8:30 it's completely dark, pitch black at 8:30. But now it's like, let's say, now that's like a month ago. So now it gets dark at around 8 o'clock now. So the deer changed their times they come out. Because one time I went out there at 7 o'clock, and the deer were already out there eating. Because they do change their time. Deer don't know what the time is. Oh yeah, it's this time, it's getting late this time, and they just come out and eat. Earlier at the night, like 6 or 5 o'clock, and then they don't seem to care much until about like just before dusk. And just before the sun sets, they start to come over and eat some food there. But that's what we have in that area. We've had a lot more does. I'll show a few more, like one of the better videos. Let's check. Let's do September. The reason I think it's good to have videos in folders and files. Label each one by each year, and then by each month. So you could look back like, oh, what should I do this month? Because last year, I don't know. Because this year, I don't know what's going to happen because I don't know what the deer is going to do. I'll look back to last year at September, and I could like, because the deer do mostly the same things every single day. They wake up, they eat, they sleep. They go to the same sort of spots. They might change a little bit, but mostly they go in the same spots every day. So last year they could be doing one thing, and this year they could be doing the same thing. So I look at the previous year in the same spots. They usually do the same thing. Okay, this was a picture of the 2 deers fighting. Right here. It was a pretty good picture. This was past bow season. This was way ahead of bow season. Bow season last year started the 15th. Now it's going to be the 12th, so it's a lot earlier in the season. So this started 6 o'clock, I think. Is that 6 o'clock? I think that's 6 o'clock. Correct me if I'm wrong. As you can see, I'll just go past these pictures. Nice does that look like they're fighting right there. They're running around. Like, there's a lot of deer activity. It's just right out here. I think, yeah, I shot this doe last year. It was a pretty big doe. I got last year. She gets storming. Well, just scroll through these pictures quickly just to show you what kind of activity. This is just all on the same day. Well, this is a couple days before now. I saw a lot of activity. I don't know, this is in August. I don't know why I have September. See some turkeys here. This is only a couple days ago. This was like 4 days ago. We had a fawn here. They're actually pretty big. Look how big that fawn is. It came out 12:41, and I actually came out an hour before this doe was there. This fawn was there to check on the food and stuff. You see, we got some decent activity. That deer is fighting. That's probably the same doe that's fighting the other deer. They're very aggressive. And I have a little mock scrape up here too. There's a rabbit. I never knew rabbits lived in the woods. Like, I never knew. There's rabbits jumping all around here, as you can see. Like, it's crazy. And this is a nice, pretty nice buck. I don't know. This is one thing I don't know. I couldn't find online or anywheres. Why does a buck look like this? Is it shedding, losing its summer coat, or what is it? Exactly. I think it looks like this buck. I don't know. It doesn't look like it has velvet anymore. It looks like it already fell off. It's a pretty skinny buck. But I mean, that's a still nice 4-point. It's not bent. It's not all crooked. It's not broken off one. It's still a pretty nice 4-point. I'm glad it's licking the salt. And this Bambi came back again with the rabbits. It's just like, that's still a pretty nice buck right there, as you can see. That's a pretty nice, but even for a 4-point, that's a pretty nice 4-point right there. So that's the end of the video, guys. I have a lot more videos and a lot more pictures. So if you guys want another video of this, a part 2, then I'll post that. And I'll do another video like this, part 2. And don't forget to like, comment down below, and subscribe. See you guys later. Bye.